Thank y'all for coming today. I'm going to get started. I've got a brief statement that I'm going to let Senator Ford make a statement. Campaigns are about contrasts and differences, and over the past few months and over the coming weeks, I expect my opponent and I will continue to draw contrasts on our policy positions and our style differences as legislators. And in any campaign that's important, but over the weekend several of my constituents in Southwest Atlanta brought me a flyer that was left on mailboxes by my political opponents. It was a flyer filled with hate and homophobia. I come this morning to express my deep disappointment that these kinds of hate-filled attacks and tactics are being used in this of all state house races, in this city of all cities. And I'm calling on my opponent, Pat Gardner, to denounce these hate-filled, homophobic attacks. These attacks are untrue and blatantly false. I never expected this race with Pat Gardner to center on hatred and homophobia. And I know Pat does not want her Southside campaign propped up with such hatred and homophobic tactics. I'm calling on Pat Gardner to take the high road, to investigate if any members of her campaign team, paid or unpaid, had anything to do with creation or distribution of this flyer. If she finds that her supporters have been a party to this hatred, I hope she'll denounce their actions and sever her ties with them immediately. If someone associated or unassociated with my campaign put out a flyer that was racially motivated, this city will be up in arms. I expect the same level of outrage over this gay bashing and this hatred. To me, silence is cooperation. These types of tactics that are blatantly hate-filled are disappointing because it's what I would expect from Republicans, not from my fellow Democrats. When other Democrats or so-called progressives perpetuate these attacks, it plays right into the Republicans' hands. It's a page that's lifted right from their playbook. We've seen these tactics before, recently in a school board election. And this is turning out to be the most homophobic and hate-filled campaign this city has ever seen. At a time when the LGBTQ community is making such great strides nationally. Atlanta is not a city that's too busy to hate simply because of how we deal with race issues. It's a city that's too busy to hate because we're an island of tolerance and diversity. And we realize in this city that it's our diversity and acceptance that makes us great. But this flyer is politics at its worst. I'll end my statement with this. Dr. King said these words, and they're as true today as they were when he spoke them. He said, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." I'll now turn this over to Senator Ford.
Good morning. Rashad Taylor is correct. Atlanta has become famous as a city too busy to hate. And we're asking all of those with influence to come out against these hateful slurs that were distributed in this flyer over this past weekend. We know that the mayor has city employees, his political operatives, working on this campaign. We know that he has released those persons, given them leave time away from the city to work on this campaign, work on the Pat Gardner campaign. We're asking the mayor to do two things. One, we're asking him to denounce these hateful and homophobic attacks. But we're asking him not only to do that, we're asking the mayor to investigate whether city employees that he has given leave time have any connection to these hateful attacks. And if they do, we're asking the mayor to hold them accountable. Silence is collaboration. This is a city that has had great mayors, Maynard Jackson, Andy Young, who made it sure that this city was a city that would be welcoming for all people, black and white, gay, straight, men and women, we can ask this mayor to do no less. We want to know, Mr. Mayor, which side are you on? Thank you.